from Daniel Studios in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's the Dennis Daniel Show. Tonight's guest, concert producer Jason Michael Paul, and your announcer, me, Belle Dandy. And now, here's your host. He is Cincinnati's next big radio personality, Mr. Dennis Daniel.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, it's me, it's the good old Double D, and you have found Blog Talk. Wait. Let's take this another way. It looks like you guys have found Blog Talk Radio's hottest talk show, The Dennis Daniel Show. Of course, as always, I am the one, the only. I should have my own legend of insert name here, because I'm just so awesome. Dennis Daniel. And folks, I'm excited because after a small hiatus from summer, summer was so awesome. We did so many great interviews. Had to take a small break. But you know what? We are back here on the Dennis Daniel Show on Blog Talk Radio, and I can't think of a better way to kick off fall season here with some awesome guests. And tonight on the program, I am so excited because we have concert producer extraordinaire Jason Michael Paul. Now, I bet you're wondering, Dennis, why do you have a concert producer on your program? Well, I'm glad you asked, or you didn't ask, or whatever. Anyway, Jason Michael Paul is probably best known as the creative genius behind several very popular video game concert series, including Dear Friends, music from Final Fantasy, Play, a video game symphony, and The Legend of Zelda, Symphony of the Goddesses. That's an incredible concert which is currently touring the United States and Canada, and is actually headed this way to Cincinnati, Ohio. My backyard, my hometown, my streets. Well, I don't know if they're my streets. I think Mallory has some kind of claim to them. But we were so excited when we heard that this concert was coming. We emailed the guys at Nintendo, hey guys, we want to promote this concert. It sounds like it's going to be an awesome concert. Because if you know us and video game concerts, we go together like PB&J. Because we just got done talking about the Distant Worlds concert last year with Arnie Roth. So how in the world can you not be excited for the new concert coming to Cincinnati? But anyway, Jason Michael Paul. I mean, this guy has worked in, I think, one booming field. Because let's face it, your favorite video game, everyone has a favorite video game. And what's a video game without music? For Mario Brothers, they got the do-do-do-do-do-do. For Pokemon, the da-da-da-do-do-do. And for Zelda, you got the do-do-do-do-do-do. Because, let's face it, without music, video games would kind of, well, except for Pong and Pac-Man. But Pac-Man had the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay, get that out of there. So why would they not have a concert dedicated to the awesome music that we've come to know that has been part of our childhoods for many, many years? Well, we can thank Mr. Paul here for producing these awesome concerts. And Cincinnati is the next stop for the Legend of Zelda, Symphony of the Goddesses, and I am so excited. October 25th at the Cincinnati Music Theater. Tickets are now available at zeldasymphony.com. But you know what? Why don't we talk about it a little bit with the band behind the Zelda concert? So that's why we're playing all the Zelda sounds, because it just makes it feel awesome. And if anyone sees Little Karibo, you tell him we use his dee-dee-dee-doo. might help us have him back on the program. But anyway, my guest tonight is a very accomplished concert promoter and producer who is the creative genius behind the play Video Game Symphony, Dear Friends, music from Final Fantasy, and The Legend of Zelda, Symphony of the Goddesses, which you can see this October 27th at the Cincinnati Music Hall. Tickets are still available. If you haven't bought one yet, I know I have. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the one, the only, Mr. Jason Michael Paul! Mr. Paul, thank you and welcome to the Dennis Daniels Show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you for being on here. I gotta tell you, when you think of video game music, you never really think that one day you're going to hear it in a concert. But thanks to you, dream freaking come true.
Nice. It's been a long haul, getting it to where it is now, so it's becoming a lot more commonplace.
Yes, I mean, to say that you haven't had your hand in several successful concerts, that's understating it. I mean, you have been the creative genius behind, I think, some of the greatest concerts of my generation. And of course, people have different tastes, but when it comes to video games and such a very creative outlet, not many people would think that video games would be deserving of their own concert series. But we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the program. So, what got you interested in music?
Well, I've always been interested in music. I grew up in a musical household. My father was, he played drums. He was in a band. He did his thing, and I also, played instruments. Piano, guitar, and I also played the drums as well. I had those types of influences, but my professional career didn't really start until I was, about 20 years old in terms of video and music.
Yes, I was doing some research. You've been working. You've actually gotten to work for several major companies, including Sony for the PlayStation, as a project manager for the company's first interactive store. And of course that would entail, various in-store events, promotions, parties, soirees, shindigs. So what was that like?
Well, it was at a time when, PlayStation was obviously, the leader, in consoles, and, they happened to be the client, that we worked with. When I worked for an agency, we did all their special events. We did, as you had said, the first totally interactive store for PlayStation, which was basically just a retail store. So we, it was a great array of projects, from permanent to temporary to concerts for parties and things like that, to trade show booths at E3 for PlayStation, and my relationship with Square Enix came out of that relationship, and, just a ton of different projects. That was the beauty of it.
Oh, that does sound pretty cool. BlogTalkRadio.com, this is the Dennis Daniels Show. We've got Jason Michael Paul on the air, concert producer extraordinaire, and the creative minds behind The Legend of Zelda, Symphony of the Goddesses, which is coming to Cincinnati October 27th at the Cincinnati Music Hall. Tickets are now available at ZeldaSymphony.com. So, of course, one of your first major concerts for video games was, of course, Dear Friends, music from Final Fantasy. And you got to actually work alongside conductor Arnie Roth, who we've had on the program before, and who now conducts for the Distant Worlds More Music from Final Fantasy concert series. What was it like working on the Dear Friends concert series and working with Arnie Roth when the concert for video games was still in its infantile stages?
Yeah, well, I mean, the show, the first one we ever did in 2004, was actually not with Arnie Roth. It was, I hired a conductor named Miguel Hart Bedoya, and that was the one that was at the Walt Disney Concert Hall in 2004, and that's where we did the first Dear Friends show. That particular show was more, I worked much closer with Uematsu and some of Amano-san, who's the illustrator genius behind all of the illustrations for Final Fantasy, and then of course, Sakaguchi-san, who was instrumental in talking and choosing the video that we ran. Those experiences were really memorable. The first one we ever did was really where the whole show came together, and just working with those guys, pretty much me and them, with the help of my contact at Square Enix, Kyoko Yamashita, and then President Jun Osaki. That was the most memorable experience, just working with those creative geniuses.
Yeah,
The first one.
I was just looking on several sites. This was the Dear Friends concert was actually the first concert of its kind to feature visuals during performance for a video game franchise concert. And I mean, and if you look at other concerts like the Distant Worlds concert, which features video game footage during the concert's playing of music from that video game, you'll see that really has become a staple in these types of concerts, because I mean, you can listen to the music, but it just adds to the flair and nostalgia when you see your favorite battle on the big screen, and you see the concert playing along to that epic battle, all the booms and the slowdowns and the speed ups and slowdowns and speed ups. It adds to, like, it just gives you that video game nirvana feeling that you get in the back of your head while you're playing your favorite game, and it's a really mind-blowing thing.
That was the whole point. They had been doing these concerts for years in Tokyo. I had went to a couple of video game concerts, music concerts in Tokyo, but they never really were doing it with the visuals. So that's why when I did the first concert in 2004, I was like, I definitely need to have a more multimedia component to it. The beautiful thing about the Symphony of the Goddesses is that we really, really make sure that all the music is perfectly synced with the visuals. So anything like the horse, lake riding the horse, jumping over, it's all completely in sync, and that's really what is so beautiful about the Legend of Zelda show.
Well, again, I think that it is going to be, just one of the most mind-blowing concerts to ever come through Cincinnati. We've had a lot of mind-blowing things come through Cincinnati, but I don't know if it could even stand up to even the Symphony of the Goddesses. But
have you seen it?
No, I have not. I have friends who have seen it, and they told me, Dennis,
oh, wow,
you got to get out there. You got to see it.
I'm not biased or anything, but I can tell you right now, of all the concerts I've ever been a part of, including More Friends, which I produced as well, Final Fantasy. But this show is just, it's the top. I'm very proud of this show. It's an amazing show.
Well, don't oversell it right now, Jason, because we got a special part of the interview where we got to oversell it. So we don't want to send everyone go, oh well, we heard enough, let's get out of here. We want to save that part so where we can sell it, because we don't want to we don't want to get to that part and go, oh well, we already talked about that. But anyway, moving right along. Of course, after Dear Friends and More Friends and even more friends, which that's the joke right there. 2006, you produce what I think has been an incredible concert play of Video Game Symphony. And we talked with Arnie about the impact of this. So what was it like working on Play and, bringing together all these different composers? We're talking Jeremy Soule, we're talking Nobuo Uematsu, Yasunori Mitsuda, Akira Yamaoka, Koji Kondo. For those who don't know, I believe Koji Kondo is the creative genius behind the Mario and Zelda series. So you're taking Mario, Zelda, Final Fantasy, and you're mixing them together in a combustible element that just became Play, a Video Game Symphony. So what was it like working on Play, and what do you think of the impact that it's had through video game enthusiasts?
I think it was just the timing was right. I felt like everyone who was at that initial concert in Chicago, it was just it was a dream come true. Working with those people, the composers, to create this show, and wow, it seems like yesterday that we were doing that. But to work with those people and to continue to work with those people, I mean, that's really a dream team of composers that work in the industry. Of course, there's a lot of newer newcomers like Austin Wintory and which from Journey and what have you, and it was amazing. Still is amazing, and I still love to be able to work with these composers.
Yeah, I was just looking at some of the games that these people have worked on. I mean, we're talking Legend of Zelda, Mario, Silent Hill, which is probably one of the scariest games out there. I mean, I'd probably be, if it was playing at a concert, I'd probably be hiding under my chair. Because Castlevania. I mean, again, you've got so many great musicians who've produced so many great songs and pieces that have become staples for video game fans. I mean, I don't know a fan out there who doesn't know the Mario do 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 again, or the Zelda do 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 do. I mean, you have not been, or of course the Uematsu da 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 do 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 do. Again, music, I think, really brings a video game together, because let's face it, if you want to play an awesome video game and you have no awesome music to it, you're pretty much just moving a joystick around. But if the music helps the storyline of the video game, that just again gives that euphoric feeling like you're not playing a game, you're living a character, you're entailed in a story. And of course, a concert dedicated to this type of thing, it really emphasizes the impact that music has had in the video game industry. And of course, you bringing these concerts together, it's just, again, mind-blowing. And just to be able to say, hey, I've gotten to work with Uematsu and Jeremy Soule and Koji Kondo. I mean, that's got to be a really humbling thing.
Yeah, it's they're very humble. They're very humble too. I mean, all these people are very humble. Koji Kondo is probably the most humble person I've ever met in my life. He's just very much, at the end of the day, all business, very professional. You would never know that he's the musical genius behind some of some of these amazing games. It's crazy, but very, very talented. Our concerts, they bring this music to the masses. That's what we've tried. That's what I've tried to do from day one with these concerts. Is just to make it so that more and more people can enjoy the music of these video games. Well,
I believe a mission accomplished banner is deserved for this type of thing, because I think you freaking nailed it.
Thank you.
But anyway, now we get into the main event of all this. The reason that you're here, the reason that I'm excited. October 27th in Cincinnati, The Legend of Zelda, Symphony of the Goddesses, a brand new concert that I guess kind of tied into a couple years ago with the 25th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda. So, Jason, first off, the question is, why does The Legend of Zelda deserve its own concert series? I mean, there are so many great games out there. There's Mario, Metroid, the Pokemon series does have a concert series. The Pokemon series doesn't have a concert series yet. So why The Legend of Zelda?
Well, it was just more or less the timing. The 25th anniversary was happening. Nintendo was interested in doing concerts that were surrounding the 25th anniversary in Tokyo, LA, and London. The press event to kick off E3 that they produced, we have an orchestra. I was part of that, and that's really where Miyamoto-san made all the big announcements, letting people know that we were going to do an orchestral CD to accompany the Skyward Sword release as part of a bundle, and my company would be producing it, as well as the 3 concerts in LA, Tokyo, and London. It was just, and obviously the success of those 3 shows, and then seeing that success and seeing that this franchise can support a tour, we immediately wanted to present to the folks at Nintendo the concept for Symphony of the Goddesses touring show, and they were receptive and they liked it, and so we've been touring ever since. Yes. It's an amazing show. We have an 18 by 30 foot screen suspended above the orchestra. We have orchestra choir. We have a 24 voice choir. We have a 66 piece orchestra. We have the very talented and beauty of Susie Sider, our music, our conductor. Also, she arranged a lot of the pieces and worked with Koji Kondo on these pieces. It's just an amazing collaboration. And then, of course, we have some of the most talented musicians that hail out of Cincinnati as part of the Pops.
Oh, yes, the Pops Symphony Orchestra is a staple in the Cincinnati area. So to have them included in the Legend of Zelda concert series, I believe only 3 words describe all this. Do it big. Do it right, do it big, go big or go home, and we ain't going home. We're doing this, we're doing it live, we're doing it big, and I think when you hear the Pops, who is world-renowned, by the way, combined with the awesome music that can only be found in this iconic video game series, and I'm just going through some of the program right now. You've got pieces from Twilight Princess, A Link to the Past. You have the Great Fairy's Fountain, the Ocarina of Time, the Wind Waker. Again, Jason, I don't even know if I'll be able to sit through it because I might just be freaking out how awesome this is going to be.
Yeah, it kind of has an effect on people.
Yes, but yeah, in a good way. I mean, we might just be, we might have to. The intermission might have to be so everyone can go outside and catch their breath because they're just.
I'll make sure I have extra life support for you.
Yes, please make sure, Jason, because I could die. I could die of awesomeness from this concert series. And I mean, I'm just
Zelda gasmic.
Yes. We'll all be going Saya or something like that. He never says anything besides and he needs hooked on phonics. I don't know. But anyway, here's what a few other outlets are saying about this concert. Destructoid.com. Symphony of the Goddesses is pure magic. There's simply no other way to describe it. Complex Magazine. There's plenty of Zelda love sprinkled throughout the entire concert, and it's accompanied by lovely crafted music. Picky Geek. Symphony of the Goddesses was a marvelous event that serves as a further legitimization of the art of games. Legitimization of the art of games. Right there. I have to agree with that.
That's what I strive to do with my concerts. That's kind of the summation of what it is that I've tried to achieve with this particular type of production.
Well, again, you've had all kinds of great experience in music that I think really helps with the video game concert series that you've worked on. And I even read that you've gotten to work alongside such greats as Luciano Pavaratti and even the Three Tenors. So what was that like, getting to work along, musical greats like Pavaratti and the Three Tenors who are icons in classical opera music?
Yeah, I took it for what it was worth. I never took it for granted. I was always constantly learning, trying to learn, really just studying some of the greats in the business for what it's like to, stage a show, and I just took it very seriously, and I used the time that I was doing that to just really hone in on my skills and have that understanding of how to produce an orchestral, symphonic, soloist, operatic, whatever it may be. It was just the time. It was kind of like my apprenticeship, and really just I didn't waste any time. I just pulled up my sleeves and just took care of it.
Well, it seems like you've had a really big impact or the music that you've worked, or people who you've gotten to work along with, have had a really big impact on your career, and you've passed what you have learned from these greats like Arnie Roth and Uematsu and the Three Tenors and Pavaratti, and took that and passed it along to these great projects that you've gotten to work on throughout your career. I mean, if you look at the impact, again, look at the impact of what Play has had, Dear Friends, and now the Legend of Zelda Symphony of the Goddesses. And we're talking, this thing has had such an impact. I mean, not only are you touring through US and Canada, but there have been tour dates added for Europe, Australia, and Asia. So you got to say, Jason, this has had a global grip, and if other countries are demanding to see it, you must be doing something right.
Well, thanks. I'm really proud of my new show, Replay, Symphony of Heroes, which is also something I wanted to talk about. Just promoting that. We're going to be kicking it off in Omaha with the Omaha Symphony, October 12th. It's the same day as the show in Edmonton with the Symphony of the Goddesses. But it's going to be a wonderful show. Features music from Journey, Portal, you name it, Lost Odyssey, Uematsu, Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts. Really, where do I stop? Guild Wars.
Now I gotta see both of them. Now, if I only had the ability to be in two places at once, Jason. Now I wish I could. I wish I had a flux capacitor so I could travel the 88.5 miles to go back to see the Play concert and then come back and see the Zelda concert. Fortunately, I don't have enough plutonium to power the 1.21 gigawatts needed, and then our Back to the Future joke is now out of here. But of course, I'm just looking at the schedule, and I mean, you're going to Boston, to Baltimore, to Chicago, Milwaukee, and after our show, and this is mind-blowing, you guys are going to be playing the mecca of arenas, Madison Square Garden. That's got to be some really awesomeness right there, to be playing at the Garden. So are you excited for the Garden?
Yeah, it's the theater, so it's a pretty amazing feeling. It's just magnetic to be, in New York doing a show. It's a dream come true. It's kind of to be there last year and then to be there this year as well. It's kind of a dream come true. It's a dream come true for everyone involved, and I'm really about promoting the whole team, and everyone is just doing a phenomenal job. And ultimately, the fans are just, that's why we're able to do this. It's because the fans have just been so receptive and supporting, and it's amazing. Yeah, the short answer is it's amazing.
Yeah, but even if it's in the theater, you're still in freaking Madison Square Garden. I mean, there are only a few handset of events have just had a major impact in there. I mean, that was the same Madison Square Garden where Andrew Dice Clay became the only comedian to sell it out 2 nights in a row. I mean, Madison Square Garden in 1985 hosting the inaugural WrestleMania. And you've seen how much of an impact that's had in pop culture. So to say that, I know, I'm a big wrestling fan, but to say that you have played in the same area where countless musicians have played, the Stanley Cup Finals, the several great comedians, including Andrew Dice Clay, the Dice Man. I mean, to say that you have had, exactly. It's a gargling effect. To say that you have had your hand at one of the greatest stadiums and arenas in the world, it's a sign that you've made it. And I cannot wait for the day that we hear Zelda Symphony of the Goddesses live from Carnegie Hall.
It's a strike right now. There's nothing going to happen there for a while.
Well, yes, you should play Carnegie Hall, the Hollywood Bowl. Heck, if you go to Japan, you might just have to play in the Tokyo Superdome. Mr. Paul, thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us about this awesome concert. Again, The Legend of Zelda Symphony of the Goddesses, October 27th, Cincinnati Music Hall. Tickets are now available. We've got tickets, regular floor seats. We've got VIP passes. And the VIP passes, they get you a private meet and greet with some of the members and the creative team behind the show. But is that going to be one of you, Mr. Paul?
That could be quite possible.
So, again, if you go, make sure you go in a little style with the VIP pass. $90. I don't see why no one can afford that. And you also get a numbered limited edition poster signed by the creative team of this, including Mr. Paul here. But anyway, check out zelda-symphony.com for more information. Mr. Paul, thank you so much for being on the program. I greatly appreciate it, and I cannot wait to see you at Zelda Symphony of the Goddesses.
Thank you.
Well, unfortunately, that's going to do it for this installment of the program. Until we see you down the road, this is the Dennis Daniel Show saying, my boy.